Let's get this started. This is the best Halo campaign 343 has ever made. It is. Is it phenomenal? No. Is it good? Yes. I haven't beaten the game because I'm very busy lately. I got some school stuff to do and a bunch of other stuff. But here are my first impressions, kind of, I guess. I don't know. Let's see how the story is. Story is overall great so far and has some interesting moments. I have a couple of problems though. The characters in general, they're kind of bland. I don't really care for them. The pilot, I kind of like the pilot and the new Cortana, but the pilot, I hope he does get a bit better because so far he's kind of just like one-dimensional. But he might get better. There was also a good scene so far that I saw, which I hope they have more of. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it was a very good, more serious scene, I guess. Also, the villain is not bad, but the problem with him is he doesn't have that much depth so far, which makes him more bland and stuff. I do think the story has some good pacing, and so far it's pretty interesting, but never pulls out the thematic or emotional moments. If the game had more thematic story, it would have just been better and made me care about the characters more. Overall, the story has some good moments and it's fairly interesting, but it could have been more if they took the risk instead of telling a super simple story, or if they did continue to tell the simple story, at least have more emotional moments or something. Okay, look at Red Dead Redemption 2, or Last of Us 1, or whatever, or Last of Us 2, any story-driven game or whatever. They have some really good thematic and emotional moments and storytelling and stuff. That's what makes them so good. Even the old Halos, like Halo Reach, had it. In this game, I wish it did, but sadly, doesn't have as much as I would want, Now onto the gameplay, the main bread and butter of the game. The gameplay is honestly really good. It's great. The sandbox is really good, and a bunch of stuff. It's just, there's always different ways to tackle objectives. Now let's start with the open world. The open world is my biggest criticism about the game. The open world is bland, the exploration sucks, and in my opinion they should have added side missions and content around the world, so when you explore you walk into it and you find it instead of it being already labeled on your map. Because now it just feels like a checklist instead of actually fun exploration. The gameplay itself is good though, the shooting is great, every gun feels great, the enemy placement is phenomenal though. For example, if you try to take an outpost out, you shouldn't run in like an idiot, you should at least scout the place or something. So yeah, okay, you should kill the snipers on the outside of the outpost that are on the outpost on that very outside areas. They're surrounded by snipers. Take them out, then make your way inside. Or if you want to run in with the tank, you can, but then you're a big target, people might shoot you easier, stuff like that. I love this. It makes it so if you die, you can figure out who killed you and tackle the game or the base a different way, or tackle the outpost a different way, or the situation in general a different way. So it's really good. Also, the upgrade system is simple but pretty good. The other thing is the main missions. The main missions are pretty good besides the indoor ones. The indoor ones use actually, no, they're not bad, but a lot of them use the same design and same layout, which is just lazy and adds a bunch of repetitiveness to the game. At the end of the day, you can go into battle and shoot aliens. This is fun, but can get repetitive. Like a Call of Duty. Does it get repetitive, you going point A to point B to shooting, Yes, it does, kind of like Halo, But, especially when the layout and design are the same for, half the game, because, 6 missions have the same layout, or not the layout, the same design and stuff, so it just feels very similar. Also, the bosses are good. They're actually very solid and good, but they're way too spongy, which gets very annoying very quickly. Also, there's a lack of set pieces in Halo Infinite, which sucks because In other Halo games, the set pieces, you would just watch a YouTube video or something just to remember the set pieces, because that's how good they were. In Halo Infinite, there's not that many. This is a problem because it makes the missions not that memorable. It's like you do the mission, then you forget about it. But now into the value. The value is great, and the game has a lot of main and side content. The side content is good for the most part, but I wish there were more good side missions to flesh out the world and help with the world building, because the Halo world doesn't feel as lived in as it should be. Also, the game runs really well on Series X. There is some pop-in, which does suck, but overall it's a smooth game. Final verdict: the game is good and very fun. A decent story, some very good enemy encounters, but the problems are there. The repetitiveness and the useless open world are all there. This is a fun game, but there are a bunch of problems. This is a fun game, like I said, and I think it's a solid 7 out of 10. Like, nothing higher than that. Yes, there are tons of problems, but this sandbox is just so fun and it's insane. And the game is also in Game Pass, so if you have Game Pass, play it. There's no reason not to. That's what I did, and yeah, that's about it, and bye.